Hello, and welcome to the Thyroid Warrior podcast. I'm Ebony, and I'm here as your wellness facilitator. I'm going to be sharing my experiences in managing Hashimoto's disease. I really hope that it'll help you on your personal journey. Keep in mind, however, this does not substitute for medical advice. It is only for your information and motivational purposes only. Now, let's get started. Hello, friends. I'm so excited. I'm grateful and I'm thankful primarily for you. And couple announcements. First things first, joyfulebony.com is now live and you can go there and check out all of my resources. They're called My Favorite Things. If you want to listen to my podcast episodes, you can go there. You can continue to listen on your favorite podcast platform, but you also have an option to go to my website as well. I'm also starting to announce, and you guys heard it here first, different services. So if you need some additional support with your thyroid disease journey, I am offering for a limited time my coaching services again. So if you guys want to get in on that, you can head to joyfulebony.com and I'm more than happy to walk you through the process to get you started living a happy, healthy, and joyful life. Also, I am now offering personal training services. And even if you're not in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, I also have virtual options available for you, as well as virtual classes and in-person classes. And let's not forget my challenge groups. If you missed getting in yesterday, I'm actually going to be starting another challenge group as of September 30th. So you can check out my website for that. I'm going to be updating the site to reflect the September 30th date. And you can also follow me at Joyful Ebony on all social media platforms. I would love to have a conversation with you. So please do not hesitate to reach out to me on those platforms because I want to hear from you. And lastly, as a special for anyone and everyone, but I'm making sure that you guys know it here first, is for anyone that purchases my thyroid guide for the month of September, I will be offering a free discovery call for you. You can purchase my thyroid guide at bit.ly/thyroid warrior. And as soon as I see that you have purchased the guide, I will send you a link to the discovery call with me. You can go in, choose the time that works best for you, and we can get you started. And lastly, the other thing that I also wanted to let you guys know about was I want to hear from you, and I also want to feature you on the podcast. So the way that this is going to work is naturally, I have to hear from you. So if I see that you are interacting with me on Joyful Ebony, we can definitely have a conversation because I want to lift you guys up and I want to show how hard you're working. So on Instagram as well, in my profile, there is a link to the thyroid issues call, and you can simply go there and enter your information. And also that link is bit.ly/thyroid issues call. I can't wait to hear from you. Hello, friends. I want to ask you to have someone that you love and care about listen to this episode because it's all about them. And today I want to talk about how do you, as someone that supports another person with an autoimmune disease or a thyroid disease, how do you help them? How do you make sure that you're giving them the most support that they need during this time? So I want to go over a few things. And the first thing is when they aren't sure what's going on, do not, and I repeat, do not gaslight them, meaning don't tell them, oh, it's all in your head, or you're distressed, or you have children, or you have a lot going on. Like maybe that's what the problem is. Don't do that. Instead, listen to them. If they're saying that they're exhausted or something doesn't quite feel right, or they're just frustrated about their health, simply say to them, tell me more about it. And really and truly listen and practice active listening. They will appreciate you so much for this. And here's why. In my experience, what I have noticed is that I would tell everyone from my friends to family to teachers to anyone that would listen, hey, something is going on with me. I don't know what, but something's wrong and I'm tired and I'm exhausted. And I constantly had people telling me, well, you should go talk to a therapist for that, or you need to get that checked out, or you're just like, it makes you feel like crap, to be very frank. And it's frustrating when you feel like the people that are closest to you don't hear you, and it feels like they don't care. And that might not be the case for you at all, but as someone that has suffered for years prior to getting a diagnosis, I can tell you right now that that is hands down one of the most frustrating things, to hear someone tell you, oh, you're just stressed, or it'll be okay, just go take a nap. The second thing that I want to tell you as someone who is supporting someone along this journey is encourage them to write down their symptoms or record it somehow. Mostly because it can be very difficult for the person that's going through it to document or write out the issues that they're encountering. And for you, as the person looking inward or from the outside looking in, you might notice things that they don't see. For example, I started losing weight drastically, and then all of a sudden I started gaining weight. And for me, most of my weight is in my midsection in my face, but most people can't see my midsection because for a long time I covered it well. And I'm taller, so for a lot of people, they don't necessarily see the weight gain, but I do. However, my family would say like, hey, like your face is getting a little puffy. And that was their way of saying, something's going on. What's happening here? Or I wasn't eating as much, or people meaning like people in my family were starting to say like, I heard you walking around throughout the night. Like, is everything okay? They didn't know that I had insomnia, but the fact that they noticed it helped me to keep track of it as well. So encourage the people that you love to write these types of things down. And if you're noticing that things are kind of starting to come across as a little weird, don't tell them right away. And the reason why I said don't tell them right away, because they might be in a very sensitive state. And if you mention like, hey, I noticed that, you're really snappy or you're really moody. When you're talking about feelings, be very cautious as to how you approach it. And instead of saying like, what's wrong with you? Like your mood's all over the place. Instead, sit them down and say, hey, I'm noticing that you're a little bit more sad lately, or you appear to be a bit more anxious, or something just seems different. Can you help me understand what's going on? And for someone suffering, that will help them articulate their feelings a little bit more. But again, we need you to practice active listening instead of saying, oh, okay, so you're just being a jerk today. That's cool. It's not. But sometimes when you're having such crazy hormonal shifts, and it's hard to explain that to someone else, but by you saying, hey, I noticed this, help me understand how to better help you, again, it helps us to be a lot more comfortable to talk about how we're feeling without feeling judged, without feeling attacked, and without feeling like you're just saying that I'm being rude or nasty. So I want you to, even when you don't know the words to say to that person, just say, I'm here. That alone can really and truly make a big difference. The next thing is encourage them. Let them know that they are not alone. Here's why that's so important. I have been considered that quote unquote strong friend. And for me, I also have a tendency to just be very independent. So it's hard for me to reach out for help. And it's even more difficult for me to tell people when something's wrong with me because I don't want to be a burden, or I don't want them to feel like they have to do something. So for me, what really helps is when people encourage me and let me know that, you're doing a good job. And even if I don't articulate it, like, I'm very expressive. So I unfortunately wear my emotions on my sleeve at times. So people around me know when something is off, mostly because I get really quiet. And I have made it very clear to them. Sometimes when I'm going through things, it's hard for me to open up and to talk about it. But what I really need is for you to just let me know that it's going to be okay. Because I become very introspective and really critical of myself during those times. And it's really nice to hear that I'm not doing it wrong, or I'm not messing up, or I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, if that makes sense. And the biggest thing is really to help them connect with you as someone that cares about them, or with other people. And by that, I mean, if you know, for example, that they have a thyroid disease, say, hey, like, are there any events that you can get involved in? Are there any activities that you can do? And they don't have to be related to their disease process. If you know that they like to paint, suggest a sip and paint so that they can get out on, especially on the days when they feel good, and just be around people and have fun. Or if they like to watch movies, and this, let me tell you, brownie points, on the days when I don't feel well, just sitting still and watching a movie, or just having some ice cream at home, not outside, not with people, because sometimes you can't people, but just having that downtime and knowing that you're there with them means the world of difference, because they're fighting each and every day. And oftentimes you can't see what they're going through, because so many autoimmune diseases or thyroid diseases, they don't present symptoms in such a way that you can immediately tell if something's wrong. So just to know that you're connected with them and you're right there with them means the world. And these are just a few tips for you to really and truly be supportive of that person in your life. But I guarantee that just by doing some of these things, you will be able to see the difference in that person, because again, they know that they're not alone and that they have someone or people in their lives that are really supportive, because it's scary. And many times it takes sometimes up to 5 years to figure out what's going on with them. And by that point, they're burned out. So they really need to be built back up again. And who better to do that than someone in their family or a close friend or a loved one? So it's my hope that by sharing these types of things with you, that you'll be able to help them. And I think the very, very last thing that I'll share is if you have children involved, try your hardest to help them as much as you can with the kids, because they have all the energy in the world and they have needs and they have activities and all the things. And by helping them in that way can take such a huge load off, because they're trying to be everything for everyone else. And by you giving them that gift of just time to decompress, it again will A, mean the world, and B, be a huge help. And explain to them what's going on with that person, not to give them the medical terms, but to say, hey, this person isn't feeling well today. Why don't we go out? We'll go to the park. We'll go hang out. And on your way back, say, hey, let's bring that person their favorite snack or something that makes them happy, or help them draw a picture for them to kind of brighten their day a bit. So it's my hope that some of these tools and tips will help you in caring for and supporting a person with a thyroid disease or an autoimmune disease. And let me know how this worked out for you. So tag me at Joyful Ebony on any social media platform, and I'd love to hear how you work through this particular scenario with someone that you love. And let me know if you have any other questions about how to support someone with a thyroid disease. I'd love to be able to support you in that. And with that, be happy, be whole, and be well. Take care. Okay, thyroid warriors, get out there and take things one step at a time. Remember, be great, reflect on your triumphs, and as always, be well. Take care.